Hello, everybody. It is moi, it is the person that's going to be talking to you about things soon in a second. How have you been? Chances are nobody's watching this live actually on Friday midday for some time zones. But hey, if you're here, greetings. If you're not here, even more greetings, because that means that you are taking some extra time later on to watch this. So I do appreciate what I will be sharing with you today are basically updates about the lockdown format, the lockdown tournaments, and basically lockdown things. And there won't be any scoops. So I'm really sorry for that. In case you were wondering if there are going to be any scoops, nope, not really. If you're curious about anything regarding system gateway and system update, please wait for official news. The whole team is looking into things, working on stuff, and basically getting things done and working on making sure that cards and more fun will be headed your way soon. And well, this aside, of course, because this is the good part of things, how's your general pandemic experience? I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're not suffering too much. I hope there's no misery. I hope life goes on its usual way. And of course, there is misery always involved in regular life as well, to some extent. But, if you can avoid bad things, stay away from bad things as much as possible. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you and yours are okay. And without further ado, oh no, maybe there will be a bit of further ado, because I'm going to be jumping into slides in a second. But before that happens, I actually had recently the experience of going to Essenspiel, the digital version, because that was the only one we were graced with this year. And I have to say, online gaming, board gaming in that particular instance, is not doing too badly, It's like I was a bit more worried that the event is going to be very dry or kind of a terrible misunderstanding in a way, because the power of that event, the main draw of that event, its magnetic allure is basically all about going to a huge place with loads of people and playing a lot of games and getting super tired and possibly getting some sort of a convention type flu. And if you've ever been to a big convention or some sort of a big conference or event, you know what I mean. It's basically going there, mixing with a lot of people from everywhere, shaking hands, sneezing in the same spaces, whatnot. I mean, basically sharing, the same areas very often with a lot of different people from everywhere, and then coming back with a new set of germs. And now that everybody's super aware of things happening, or at least that's what one would desire or think is happening, we're kind of way more aware of that. And if we can avoid this, then we totally should. That said, I had a lot of fun. I played some really cool games. I got some games explained to me with a bunch of totally unknown to me before people, and that was really, 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 really nice. So it wasn't the same thing. It wasn't the real deal. It wasn't the real thing, but it was the next best thing, and I really, really am happy that I could attend that over the last weekend. But okay, without further ado, dear folks, it is time to talk to you about lockdown. And in case you didn't know what lockdown was, should I be showing you the slides for this? Should I be informing you of what lockdown is? No, because you've probably been around for quite a while. And we're going to be going into lockdown. Yeah, well, we're going to be finishing lockdown. There will be a finish to lockdown and a restart, reboot, what have you. Let's just say that the working names are Season 1 and Season 2. So we will be entering Season 2 next year. And I know this is October and I should be probably organizing another, at least 3 rounds of lockdown for this year. But I think 10 is a nice number. It is a number for certain mathematical conventions and basis, so to speak, for a reason. So we're gonna, there's gonna be the 10th edition, and that's gonna be the conclusion of Season 1. So let's talk about Season 1 and Season 2 for lockdown then. Season 1 with this beautiful logo that will be available on your local, in your local shop selling you, filtration masks soon. Generally, just to summarize it, because it will be ending in November, and I'm gonna be mentioning this later on. But the first tournament started, it took place on the 22nd of March. So this is basically a week after, I think it was a week or 2 weeks maybe, after, more or less like 2 weeks, a week and a half. Never mind. But basically, approximately 1.63 pandemics ago indeed. It was in late March this year, and it was a reaction to, of course, the live scene going down the drain because of the pandemic. And it was also a follow-up to BCom, which is a great event, and you should totally attend the next one if it ever happens. And if not, well, just keep an eye out for BCom, basically. If you've heard of BCom, great. If you've attended BCom, we love you, all of us here, like in Barcelona. If you haven't, and it ever happens again in real life, by all means, please attend, because it's loads of fun for us to have everybody here. It's great fun to play against all those lovely people and with those lovely people. And then, well, it's a community event, so, you know, no pressure. It's fun. And ball pits as well. The cool numbers I can share with you is that the total number of participants, and of course, some of these are repeat participants, do not be mistaken. But for the first 9 lockdowns, I'm not counting the 10th one because it's coming up, and I'm going to be updating these, of course, later on. But basically, a little over 200 people played in the lockdown series so far in the 9 events. So I'm super happy with that. You know, it's huge for me to have an event which is attended by so many people, and by many of them repeatedly. So huge props to everybody who actually came over and over again to different editions of Lockdown that could make the time for it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you in season 2 next year as well. It was called Iberian for the first 4 editions, basically because, hey, guess what? I'm in Iberia, to call it geographically this way. But I dropped it from the 5th edition just to kind of maybe, you know, make it more into a format, a standardized format in a way, if you will, and to kind of make it more global. Because if somebody wants to make a Lockdown tournament somewhere and they go for Iberian Lockdown, it's like, hey, let's play Iberian Lockdown in Chile, or let's play Iberian Lockdown in Tokyo. It's like, not really. So if this ever gets franchised, it's just going to be Lockdown. The fun thing also is the first event was totally different from the other ones. Well, not totally, but quite different from the other ones. And then generally the format and the structure, you know, the different ways in which this format differs from standard or kind of builds on standard, we're changing, we're shifting during the series. So thanks to everybody's input. So I'm really grateful to all the people around the event. You know, you could say that, yeah, I'm organizing, I'm providing price support in a way or whatnot, or like I'm taking care of the streams and everything else, of course, yes. And it's loads of fun. But a lot of people have contributed. A lot of people have donated to the stream as well, for which I'm very grateful. And now I'm like, shoot, I should have included that slide, but I'm going to leave it out. It's going to be there for the 10th edition because I'm basically going to be reiterating some things in the 10th edition as well, just to make it live for all the people attending that event. And this is just a recording so that you know that this is also a bit of a scoop, but it's a no scoop. 24 people took the 36 top 4 spots across 9 events. As you know, Lockdown goes into the top 4 instead of the usual top 8 cut and other things and whatnot. And basically, if you get into the top 4, you're already in the winner's circle in a way, and then it's just a matter of figuring out who had more fun and who had a yankier deck, or not a yankier deck, who was basically having more fun that night or that day, depending on the time of the event. But yeah, those 24 people have actually formed something that again was developed as part of the event at some point, because I just realized that, hey, I can make decisions, or I can call the shots, so to speak, but it's great to have some backup. It's great to have some people who I can just consult every now and then and ask. And they have formed the Lockdown Council. So you have those folks here, and the numbers in the brackets stand for the number of times other than 1 that those people actually made the top 4. So as you can see, Captain Nice, they have totally been not only like in a way a godparent to it, or I shouldn't say godparent, but like one of the founding members of this whole format through their work with Diversified Portfolio, on which Lockdown is heavily based. Basically, it's Diversified Portfolio Plus, as it was called, but now I'm going to call it Lockdown from now onwards because it kind of stuck, I guess, and it's fun. And also it's very, you know, on topic with people just being forced to stay at home, or, well, never mind, not travel. Anyway, the Lockdown Council, 24 people, all those folks are absolutely awesome. They made it sooner or later into the top 4 of the event, and I'm looking forward to seeing them come back for number 10, or who knows, maybe show up in season 2. They're basically very good players all over, who have loads of interesting ideas, who know how to navigate a very tricky meta, a very unusual meta, which is the Lockdown meta usually. And yeah, they also are good at having fun. So if you see them around online or anywhere else, you know, give them a shout out. Faction stats, and this is going to be quite interesting. So I looked only at the top 4 results, basically. So looking at the factions that made it into the top 4 for those 9 events, and I assigned points to those factions based to their placement. So basically, first place was 4 points, second place was 3 points, sorry, third place was 2 points, and fourth place was 1 point. And then, of course, the number of times that faction made it also added to those points. So basically, everything was multiplied and whatnot. Jinteki made the top 4 13 times and gathered 41 prestige points, let's call them this way. And that's quite scary. Totally dominating the corp field. Wayland kind of second with 12 placements, yes, but fewer prestige points. And I don't know if I miscalculated, but maybe I did something wrong. But basically, Wayland is the second corp when it comes to the scores, in a way, if you were to count that. Has Bioroid, 17 prestige points, again, way behind Jinteki. So it seems Jinteki is the corp to beat, or to tech against, or to take to lockdown and just carry you to the top 4. And NBN, the poor NBN folks, they totally need help. Only 3 times in the top 4, but let's see what we can do about that in Season 2. Hello, Zero of Maxima, hello. I have a live viewer, this is amazing. But yeah, so Season 1 faction stats for Corp are the following, and that will not be shaping the meta, or maybe it will be a bit of a suggestion for the people in the next season, just to see what we can do to take Jinteki down a notch or the other corps up a notch. That said, let's take a look at what the runner side brings. So the runner meta, based on the top 4 results from 9 events, basically it's fairly even, I have to say, and this is quite interesting. You can see that Shapers, Criminals, and Anarchs more or less took quite an even chunk of the cake, so to speak, of the top 4 pie. Shapers just going slightly ahead versus the Criminals, but Anarchs not staying actually far behind with 21 prestige points as well. So they placed in the top 4 10 times. So this means that I think that the runner meta is nicely balanced in this format. People block cards, people choose IDs that kind of nicely represent different factions. The mini factions, of course, way smaller representation in the top 4, but we did have Apex in the top 4 thanks to MCG. And we did have Sunny taking quite a few nice spots. Basically, 4 of those 5 placements, I think, in the top 4 are Sunny. And mostly Sunny piloted by Captain Nice, because Captain Nice is the Sunny player, I think, in the European meta, at least, from my information and from my experience. Of course, that doesn't make them the only Sunny player, but hey, who knows? I don't know. Anybody else playing Sunny out there, come over and play Sunny as well. And I know that Sir Loading was playing Sunny once as well and landed on the top 4 spot, if I remember correctly. So yeah. That said, like I already mentioned, main factions, pretty well balanced. Adam not represented a single time, and I think Adam was played by some people in some events. But well, that just means people have to start crunching the numbers on Adam and maybe bringing some really funky decks to the table. Okay, so as a reminder, the Lockdown Season 1 Grand Finale is happening soon in November, in around 2 weeks. You still have time to sign up, you still have time to create the decks, and all the restrictions, all the information is always be running. Everything is already there. This time I basically took the math from the previous 9 editions, added some spices on my own, and you have a ban list for the different cards on the Corp and on the Runner side. You have also information about the ID costs, so you shouldn't be lost when it comes to creating your decks. And I hope I'll get to see you there for the grand finale. And this is gonna be finishing Lockdown. This is gonna be wrapping Lockdown up for this year, but worry not, because Lockdown Season 2 is a thing, and those lovely logos are gonna show up in a local shop as well, probably as a design for I don't know, the protection gloves soon. So keep an eye out. What happens? Well, the lockdown goes on. So the first tournament of this series is gonna happen in January 2021. I'm gonna be taking a break from lockdown for a while, just to chill and not stream 8 hours straight or 7 hours straight, which is loads of fun. But it's also good to rebuild some things in my head when it comes to playing Netrunner and streaming Netrunner, reshape some things, shaper stuff, and so on and so forth. But anyway, January is gonna be the kickoff for Lockdown Season 2. The same formula and the same format will apply. So basically, every tournament will have a top 4. Every tournament will have, most likely, if that's not going to change, but it's going to have 4 rounds of Swiss. Any number of players allowed, of course. The meta will be refreshed, so there will be new ID costs, and there will be a new ID cost change process, which will influence the way IDs are priced in the infamous points that make you, grind your teeth or maybe yell in glee. I don't know. And there might be, and this is something I'm considering, a lockdown prison for some IDs. What does this mean? Oh my, this is quite scary if I say it, right? But basically what that would mean is if in a tournament, if in an event, there are IDs in the top 4, they are not allowed to be selected for the next event. So they will be banned only for the next event. So if in lockdown 11, which is going to be in January, we have 4 IDs on the runner side and 4 IDs on the corp side, they would be banned for lockdown 12 only, right? So they would be coming back for lockdown 13, but probably with a higher cost as well. But they would be just banned for this one event to basically stimulate people's thinking, get them out of their comfort zone and make them more creative. This is a potential addition, so I have no idea if this is going to happen or not. I think it's a nice and interesting and a spicy addition, so we'll see if that happens. And there will be a website for the event. This is not because I don't like Always Be Running. I love Always Be Running. Necro is doing an amazing job there. This is not because I don't trust Cobra. Cobra is amazing. Jono's work is basically a work of love, and it's amazing, amazing, amazing. This is not because I don't like other people's websites. No. I just need to have a website for this to document some things, make it more fun, throw in a couple of extra links in there, all the rules and all this stuff, just so that people have a better idea of how it works. So, a point of reference, if you may, and that's gonna happen as well. I have no idea about the URL, I have no idea about the domain, but it will happen definitely for December or January. We'll see. Might be launching with Lockdown 11. And I think you should also know what's going to be happening behind the scenes. So basically, yes, there will be more raffles on stream. Everybody's asking for raffles. Everybody's using exclamation mark, raffle. So that's going to happen. There's probably going to be some secret commands as well that I'm not going to list anywhere. And well, it's going to be fun. This is basically what I'm going to be using December for. And just to have fun, to learn more about streaming, to learn more about Twitch, how things work and so on. There will be a Lockdown Council refresher, so I'm going to be asking all the 24 people on the Lockdown Council to decide whether they still want to be a part of it, if they have some ideas, and so on and so forth. Also, because I don't want to bother them every tournament or every event, I don't want to send them the same email saying, hey, please name the IDs that you would like to, put some ID costs on and whatnot. Maybe they just want to have a break. There will be still, of course, written down in the Halls of Fame of Lockdown as the first Lockdown Council and the counselors that made it up. And the price support will be changing. So this is basically to make it easier for people to pick what they want or to get what they want. There might be some surprise prizes as well. But the people who are going to be in the top 4 will be getting lockdown points, kind of similar to what I did with the IDs or with the factions, sorry. So basically there will be strength of schedule points, but maybe not strength of schedule. But first place will get 4, second place 3, third place 2, and so on. And those folks will be accumulating those lockdown points, and then the lockdown credits in a very similar way. Nothing special about no big numbers, because I don't want to run a calculator just to figure out what's going on. And those credits will be generally later turned into prizes at the end of the season, because what's going to be happening is people will be voting, participants will be voting on prize support during the season. And we'll be basically forming a pool from the community created coolness. So basically we already know that the community for the game is huge and very creative and doing a lot of absolutely awesome stuff in many different formats, in many different ways, and so on and so forth. And I would like people to just tell me, the people playing in a tournament, saying, hey, have you seen those cool alt arts, or have you seen those cool tokens, or have you seen this or that? Because I only go to so many places and maybe I don't know everything. So thanks to the Artist Colony being a very good hub for this. But yeah, people who will be participating, they will be basically suggesting the prizes, and then the prizes will be acquired based on the player preferences, on the votes, on who places where, and on donation support as well. So donations will still be the main way of basically fueling the prize pool, And if people want to donate prizes, that's even better. Like I'm open to all possible options here, so that can definitely be happening. And then after Lockdown 20 happens, which will be probably around November next year, I hope, or maybe earlier, who knows. We'll see how it all can fit into the competitive season, which will be kicking off 2021, of course, as well. We'll see how that works. But generally, stay tuned for more information about Lockdown prizes and about cool stuff happening in that respect quite soon. Because, like I already mentioned, Lockdown 10 is coming up in November. Lockdown 11 is coming in January 2021, and that's it for now. I think no more scoops unless what's this? I should click this. Okay, wait a second, there's like exclamation marks and stuff. Wait, what's going on here? Oh yeah, I do have a new announcement. I have some scoops. No, they're not scoops. I would like to introduce a new series to you, something that is basically me looking at numbers and going like, yeah, okay, so Jinteki kind of scary, but Wayland is my favorite corp. Why are they low? And what's with NBN? And why is Adam not represented? And so on and so forth. So I'm going to kick off a new series, and it's going to be called the Versus series. It's going to be an event series online. What did you know? Still needs a logo, so if you have any ideas, send them over. For now, I have this work in progress logo, which is amazing. I just stole it off the internet like everything else that I do. But let me tell you about Versus. Versus is going to be the answer, or not the answer, but some sort of a reply or response to the statement of let's settle once and for all which faction is the best. Okay, so we're going to be basically looking into this as a team of scientists together using online games, online events as a testing ground. It will be a team tournament, and the teams will basically be 2 teams of 3 players each. So that's the idea here. And you're wondering, how do I get into a team? Wait a bit, I'm going to tell you more about this. But the format itself will be a round robin with 3 rounds. So basically, everybody on Team A will be playing versus everybody on Team B. And everybody will this way get a full game streamed on both sides. So that way, everybody gets a stream of their game, of course, if they want to. But I think if you're attending one of my events, you should know that I'm going to be streaming if it's online. So that's a given. So unless something terrible happens and I won't be able to stream. But yeah, it's stream positive, so to speak, those events. The fun fact about this format will be basically we're going to be pitting corps and factions against each other with 1 corp and 1 runner faction only in each event. So no repeat IDs allowed. This, of course, means that there's all the combinations. So the 4 main corp factions will be facing off with the 3 main runner factions and the many factions as a separate faction as well. And there might be some special rules around this for the many factions, but I still think that it's actually viable to play each one of them, even Apex, because Apex is awesome, to see how those many factions fare against the corps. The first event will be happening in December 2020. So, you might be going like, oh, lockdown's away, and now you're going into Versus. And indeed, it will be like this. I hope to have an event ready by December 2020. So I'm going to be spending most of November, most of my time for Netrunner in November on setting this one up and making sure that lockdown is also continued in a worthy fashion of your attention and whatnot. So, let's see how this goes. And the participation basics are as follows. There will be an online form where you'll be able to sign up as an individual. So this will be for individual players. Everybody will be signing up for the same online form. I already have it ready. I just need to review it and make sure that it clicks and works. And teams will be created randomly. So there will not be any team sign-up form. Generally, I will try to randomize people, but to put them together if they're in the similar time zone. We'll see how many people, I need to see how many people sign up, of course, first. And then based on that, I'm going to be organizing the rest of the tournament. But yeah, people from similar time zones will be grouped, and there may be, and of course with the similar pick, because everybody will be picking only one matchup. So we will be picking one matchup only. So for example, if you want to play Jinteki and Anarch, there will be a Jinteki versus Anarch event, and you will be able to sign up for that. Now, if you will be picked or not, that's a totally different story, because I will of course have to, again, see all the data, see how many people, maybe there will be multiple events. I don't know, maybe I'm going to be doing a Jinteki versus Anarch month. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, let me figure this one out. For now, it's a very hot idea off the production line, or not even the production line. It's still in the lab. But yeah, all the teams will be formed and informed with enough time in advance to prepare and start building decks or practicing their matchup. Because again, just to reiterate, this is called the Versus Series because you will be playing one matchup only, and you will be playing both sides. So you'll be playing, for example, Wayland versus the Many Factions, or NBN versus Shaper, or Hasbioroid versus Criminal. And also Hasbioroid will be playing against Anarchs and Shapers and Many Factions in other events as well. But you will be only able to pick one. For now, at least, we'll see what the participation is like, and then organize across the timeline of 2020 and 2021, pending further confirmation from my side. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, if you have anythings, basically, do let me know. You know where to find me. If you don't know where to find me, let me just put you forward to the last slide, right? So if you want to contact me, whoa, of course this had to pop up, because why wouldn't it? Obscuring everything and making it very hard for people to see what is going on here. But yeah, you can email me at vesper@cyberpunk.me, or you can whisper to me via Twitch, basically twitch.tv VesperDBS with an underscore there. Do let me know if you have any information that you want me to see regarding this. Hey there, Shorty! Yeah, you will be able to catch up on the whole video later, no worries. I'm gonna be finishing any minute now, basically, because I have to go and do some other stuff, but in case you missed it, this is all about Lockdown and Versus, the new hot format. Hopefully, and it's not a format, it's more like an event format. We're probably going to be playing Standard, I think. Unless some people write to me and say, no, we need to ban cards right away. Anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I'm going to be heading off into the ether to do other things. And I shall be contacting you soon. More news about everything across November and December, but for now, this is me signing off and wishing you all the best in the coming weekend. Take care and always be running.